What's up, GITV? Bantha Bill here, and today we're going to be trying something a little bit different because we are going to be going over my top 3 choices of AEG rifles if I had an unlimited budget. Now, my number 3 choice may come as a little bit of a shock to you because you guys have only really seen me play using M4s and M16s, but I have decided to go with the ENL A106A AK74MN. Say that 3 times fast. Get it, and it's also the third gun, so it makes it kind of funny. This thing retails for about $389.99 Airsoft GI, and the reason I decided to go with one of these is because, honestly, I've never owned an AK platform, and I've always kind of wanted one just because it's that real rugged look that, you know, if you're going for a PMC or something like that, sometimes they have a more, I won't say the word traditional, but, you know, a little bit more rugged rifle than an M4. And we all know that AKs, you could drag them through the mud, run them over with a Humvee, and they'll still work. Now, the reason I decided to go with an ENL variant is because it is made out of stamped steel, which I love. It makes it a lot more realistic compared to some of the other ones. Another feature I like is that it does have a collapsible stock, so if you're doing a milsim game and you're riding in a car or you just want to go like shoot crazy like this, you totally can, and that's awesome. The rail system, another added feature because I usually like to add on accessories such as an optic, maybe a laser if I felt like it, and a vertical grip. Now, one thing I don't like, well, there's actually 2 things that, not a big deal, but my personal preference is, the rail system is actually really sharp, but that's easily solved by wearing gloves, using a vertical grip, angle grip, anything along those lines. The other thing, which, even though it does smell pretty good, it's kind of annoying that this gun is coated in a light layer of oil. Now, I understand that's because during shipping you want to prevent it from rusting, but I don't know if you guys can see, it's all over my hands right now. So that's another thing, not really a big deal, but nothing a little bit of, wiping down with a paper towel can't fix. So this is definitely going to go with my number 3 spot for my top 3 rifles. Now, moving on to my number 2 spot, I have the G&G M14 HBA long variant. Now, you guys may have remembered seeing me do a tactical gearheads with the short variant. Well, my personal preference, I like the longer variant because I just like the look of it way better than the short. That's just my personal preference. Now, this guy retails for about $500 Airsoft GI, and obviously you could tell this is a gun for outdoor kind of gameplay. You wouldn't want to take this inside a building. Now, for some of you that, don't know about G&G, they've been making these things for a long time, but one thing I immediately noticed from picking this one up is it is a lot lighter than the older variants. I remember the old variants used to be, I think well over 10 pounds or something along those lines. This thing is definitely a lot lighter than it used to be. I mean, unless I got stronger, but I highly doubt that. I have always wanted an M14, actually, ever since I've shot an M1A, which is the civilian variant of the M14, and I love that rifle. The reason I decided to go with one of these is because, like I said, I have always wanted an M14, and honestly, how can you not love this sound? Like, it's awesome. I've always liked the sights also. They're very easy to aim with, and I feel like you can be accurate. Now, what's nice is you do get this little rail section here so you can attach a scope or any other optic, but the thing that's kind of a pain about that is it's only 1 slot, so you're gonna have to do a scope ring. It's gonna be difficult, if you want to do a short dot. If you're gonna do like a holographic or a red dot or something like that, it is gonna have to be up here, which personally I don't like. I like to have my holographics or red dots a little bit closer to my eye, but just a personal preference. Now, another thing that's nice is it does have a collapsible stock, and you can actually collapse it down pretty far to a point where, like, you can't really shoulder it, but it's good for transporting it in bags or anything else you need to transport it in. And like you can see right there, multiple different slots. Now, this may be my own user error or anything like that, but the one thing that is kind of I hate about M14s is sometimes the mag is a little bit difficult to get in, and I can never seem to get it to lock in. I think you have to give it a good smack and then it locks in. So, I mean, other than that, this is a great gun. I mean, hell, you got a bolt catch right here. How cool is that? Oh man, I really want one of these. So this is definitely my number 2 choice. I can't wait to go out and shoot this thing. This is gonna be a lot of fun. Now, moving on to my number 1 choice, it may have been something that some of you may have already called out. It is, of course, the officially licensed LVOA by Crytek. Now, when deciding between, honestly, the G&G M14 and this gun, it was very difficult. I really do like the M14, but ultimately, the main reason I went with an M4 variant is because, honestly, all my gear is already set up for an M4, meaning all my pouches and stuff like that. And if I did go with an M14, I'd have to change all of those out. So that is my main reasoning why I went with this one over the M14. But overall, this is just a really cool gun. Honestly, to me, I love the look of it. I've always liked longer rail systems because I like having the ability to grab wherever I need to depending on my situation. Because it is made by Crytek, you are going to get that awesome reliability. One thing that's always been nice that I've always liked is that the bolt catch does really work, so adjusting your hop up, which is a rotary style, another thing I really like, is no problem. Because I am left-handed, it's nice having an ambidextrous fire selector, which makes my life a lot easier. And also it does come with the really cool top hat, flash hider. Now for those of you that, maybe aren't into the grain, but you maybe have tan gear, or you're running a tan loadout, or you just like the color tan, boom, Airsoft GI, we are the exclusive retailer of the tan variant, and if you pre-order right now, you're gonna get 10 free mid-capacity magazines. Now this is not the final production variant, this is actually a version that we mocked up, our tech department painted, so it may be a shade darker than this, but you can get the idea of what to expect when it comes out. So definitely check that out, airsoftgi.com. If you want the tan one, or if you're like me, you can totally pick up the green one because I really like the color green. But coming in at about $425, and this thing shoots right around the 400 FPS mark. This gun is perfect for me because I mainly play outdoor. It's an M4 variant, so I am used to all of the controls because that's all I've ever used. Ambidextrous, all those things, all good. Really tough decision though between this and the M14, but ultimately the reason I chose this one is because my gear is all set up for an M4. But if I could totally change it over to an M14, I would, and I'd get that HBA. But hope you guys enjoyed my top 3 picks of AEGs if I had an unlimited budget. Once again, I'm Bantha Bill. This is GITV. We'll see you guys next time. Now, it may be kind of obvious to most people, but it is possible to forget. So don't forget to bring your gun and a backup gun, because as they always say, 1 is none and 2 is 1. So you're paying a lot of money to go out to this event, so you don't want it to be ruined in case your only gun goes down. So make sure you always bring a backup so you can continue playing.
Go ahead and look for an airsoft gun that was pretty light and compact. Now, I went with the Echo 1 airsoft gun here, compared to what I had back then, which is a D-Boy 74U, just because this has a pre-upgrade gearbox. Would have had the gearbox